Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. So I'm going to create a little playlist of some of my reactions, responses, overall thoughts concerning the discussion between Mikhaila Peterson, Mohammed Hijab, and Ayaan. So to get it started, Mohammed Hijab said in a nutshell what we Muslims believe, that he can't imagine life without Islam, that Islam gives him meaning and purpose, and that it helps keep him not perpetually depressed. He said this, I'm summarizing it, but he said it in such a way where it's extremely potent. And I really like that because Ayaan was going to come in with a super negative angle. And what Mohammed Hijab did was to totally bring in the opposite energy with authentic truth behind it, to totally just push back against her narrative that also helped us as Muslims be able to connect with it. And I found this to be a very effective rhetorical style that helped keep the opponents as well as the believers engaged. And to me, that helps because when you mention that Islam keeps depression away, and we know through all its actions, for those of us who Islam has helped, really give a grounded sense of steadfastness, patience, and purpose, we understand this. And so when she's coming in with all the negative angles, and then he mentions how it actually helps keep depression out of his life, right? This is great because it offers the exact opposite perspective of what she had. And I really loved that because it helps to ground the conversation. It's like a spear right into the water at the fish, just flunk right in there. And so this doesn't leave any wiggle room for his attachment to Islam as a believer, and what the benefits he has felt, and what many Muslims obviously have felt with their conversion or being born into Islam. And the depression point is also effective because so many people in the West are heavily medicated with antidepressants. Heavily medicated. We have an opioid crisis. We have so many drug addicts. It's unbelievable. And they're all trying to self-medicate. We have so much decadence, yet so much mental illness and depression and self-loathing because of our sins, because of our behavior here in the West. So if a sinful, kind of arrogant, smug atheist hears this perspective from a Muslim, a devout Muslim like Mohammed Hijab, that his depression has been kept at bay more effectively by being a Muslim, this can help others to realize that our faith helps people to have patience, steadfastness, and a ceaseless endurance towards the hereafter. And all that can be felt through that response that he gave to her in his opening statement. And I liked how he said that he can't imagine his life without it, because that's how I felt when I was talking to AP. And some people might not get that, but it becomes so much a part of your life that you start to feel, how can it ever be without it? And I know when I've listened to certain apostates' comments that they struggle with, what do you do now after leaving Islam? And so this is an excellent contrast that he did, so in the positive light. So as the apostates of Islam focus on the void of Islam after in a negative way, we focused on, via Mohammed Hijab and his comments, how it's a really solidifying, all-encompassing hold, shield for our purpose of life, our mental health, and our soul. This is very effective, right? Because when you're talking to people who think Islam is depressing because of the lack of music, the lack of drugs, the lack of, sexual hedonism, right? And they hear a believer say the opposite, that they're still happy without all those things, this can cause a click in their head, hopefully, inshallah. Some people will be stubborn in their ways, but still, there is, because of Muhammad Hijab and Allah giving him this good energy in his discussion, this sort of gnawing energy, consciousness, at the nihilists and the cynics minds. I perceive that. Because I was like, yeah, alright, that's how I feel. So I got like super happy about it. So the naysayers were probably like, you know? So that's the first point, and then I'll do a couple others. I want to make some short, some longer, because I don't want to combine two different ideas if I don't have to. But stay tuned. Alhamdulillah.